Hello and welcome to Chasing Green Arrows. Today is our FA Cup final review, and I have with me, as you can see, a huge Arsenal fan and my co-host, Abrar Aziz. How are you doing, sir?
Over the top, over the moon, man. It's just been a great time since we won. It's just been still very excited. Still buzzing from that victory, that performance. A little bit of a shaky start, but I think we grew into the game pretty well. And very happy for the boys. Very happy for Arteta. I'm telling you, man, we're ready. We're ready for next season.
An unbelievable run in the FA Cup. Sorry?
I can't wait. I said.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unbelievable run in the FA Cup. There's some crazy performances. Again, in the final, 1-0 down, some defensive issues early on, but then that all just everything seemed to change. They're hitting the long ball to Aubameyang, creating space behind the Chelsea defenders, and suddenly you could see the cracks in the Chelsea defense. And Arsenal, as they got into the game, they solidified their stance and they just cruised through it at the end, right?
Yep, I agree 100%. I think just like I said, right, the first 15, 20 minutes, I think we were very shaky. I think it was a little bit of the nerves.
A bunch of nerves, yeah, a bit of nerves.
Along with some unnecessary defending that we've seen in the past with Arsenal and under Emery and in the beginning era of Arteta, we were seeing that a little bit. And I was a little bit scared for the first 15 minutes. And then like just literally right after that water break, I think it happened in the 21st, 22nd minute. I think Arteta kind of just tweaked a couple of things here and there, and after that we were just looking a much more solid team. I think the impact was there, and I think we got that goal that we needed really quickly. Like it wasn't too much. I think it was 27, 28th minute, I think. And then I think after that, I honestly thought that we finished the half very well. And
it could have been two up in the first half itself, yeah.
We should have gone up one, and there was that beautiful kick by Pepe that was ruled offside, although correctly ruled offside. But that was also some flashes of brilliance by Pepe. Everything seemed to fall very well into place yesterday, and that was a very heartwarming performance.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a solid Arsenal performance, and especially to come back from a goal down, I think it makes it more special because we don't expect, like, in the FA Cup final, I don't know if you know, mostly the finals, it's like a 2-0 or 1-0. Like the second team doesn't really score because they sit back, right? The team moves up front. But I think Arsenal created that space and put that pressure on Chelsea, which was magnificent. Let's go through the player ratings. I don't know how realistic you'll be, but yeah.
Before that, I want to say two things, right? One, yes, we got a couple of decisions in our favor. There were some decisions
I was going to come to that. I didn't bring it up yet because I want to bring that up in the end. But yeah, go ahead.
No, but I agree that there were a couple of soft decisions. I completely agree.
I didn't want to open up like that because you'll attack me. That's why I didn't want to say that. But yeah, I'll come to that.
I have to agree that we got a couple of soft decisions in our favor. I kind of have to agree, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that the second yellow card was questionable. Yes, for sure it was questionable. We've seen some of those given in the past. We've seen most of them not given in the past. But it's not like a first time it's ever happened that kind of a decision is made. That's not the case. Yes, we got a little lucky. Even the penalty, yes, it was a little bit tricky. It was a very soft decision. I don't care about all of that. At the end of the day, we won the FA Cup.
That was a penalty in my. It was a penalty. Yeah.
It was a little bit of a soft decision. Some of those have not been given in the past. Fair enough.
I had some Arsenal fans saying that David Luiz got sent off for a tackle like that. Like an offense like that as well.
Exactly what I'm saying. That hasn't happened before, and I was surprised they didn't give him a red card for that because he was the last man anyway.
Yeah.
So there was a lot that happened. Yes, there were a couple of soft decisions. I don't care about that. That was the first thing. And second thing,
you don't care about it because you're on the other side. But yeah.
And that's always going to be the case, right?
Yeah.
The case. And second, if anyone ever tells me that London is not red, I'm not even going to consider talking to that person about it and trying to explain to him because let's be honest, okay? That Spurs team has won one League Cup in 2006, 2007. Bullshit. That's not even like what competition you fight for, right? And before that, they won in 91. Since then, we've won like 1,000 trophies. It doesn't even matter. Let's just talk about the past 7 years, right? The past 7 years, we won 4 FA Cups. They won 0. Their best manager ever took them to a Champions League final. That's it. Nothing else.
What about the Chelsea fans who say that recent history, they won Champions League, Premier League, and what about that? Like, even though you beat them in the final, but like, what's your say on that?
Chelsea fans, yes, there's some money that's come into. They've got into some money because of Roman. and
Yeah.
they have done a decent job, but they're still way behind us in terms of history. Their history is in the past 10 years.
Yeah, third successful club in England, Arsenal.
We've been winning the FA Cup since 1900. Like they didn't even exist, I think, then. So it doesn't matter. Like, let's talk realistically. London is red. That's it. There's no two ways about it. And London is awesome.
But like, just on that point, did you feel like, because this was probably one of the worst Arsenal seasons in terms of the league, and even Europa League they got knocked out.
Yeah.
From a neutral point of view, I felt like it was very poor, like uh, from an Arsenal perspective. But like, what were your thoughts going into this FA Cup? Did you always believe that they could win? And like, did you have that confidence? Like, yes, Arteta is there, but then it was the same players who were screwing up in the league and in the Europa League. Like Aubameyang missed a sitter in the Europa, right? Like, if not mistaken, but then he comes up and like genius in the FA Cup. So, what were you? Is it just like, are you? Do you just live with the thrills of the inconsistencies, like the ups and downs, or like were there any expectations going into this?
So I'll have to go a little bit behind, right? So when we were in like, let's say August, September, October of last year, when we were terrible, like under Emery, it wasn't like it was just so detached. There was nothing going on, right? And then Arteta came and he gave us some hope, but because of the fact that it was so detached, it didn't
Yeah.
work. Then right when things were starting to look a little bit better, COVID happened, right? So then when we came back from that break and how we started off, I was worried, and it was like a lot of factors. But I always thought Arteta was a good manager, but he proved it to me. And I'll tell you why I was confident yesterday. I was confident yesterday after the performance that we had against City, and after the performance that we had against Liverpool. The thing that I've noticed under Arteta is that Arsenal's not breaking down very easily. Like they're a bunch of, like, they have heart, they want to play, they want to win, and they're more well-rounded team. They're a team that, like, I don't think you'll see an Arsenal team get defeated 6-0, 7-0. That has happened in the past, right? That's probably not going to happen under Arteta, at least. Even under Emery, you saw like some 4-0 games, 5-0 games. I don't think that's going to happen. It was just, I think after the lockdown, I think there was just one game where City beat us. I think it was 3-0. I think in the first game that they beat us, or it was 3-1 or something of that sort. But that's the most. It's not been like a complete one-sided game or anything. If you just leave that one City game, every other game that even if we've lost because of some kind of like a quick, like a close 2-1, or it's been like a 1-0 where we've really underperformed in the front or stuff like that, right? So under Arteta, we're not breaking down, and that was heartwarming to see. So I didn't expect us to go down. Like, even when we went one goal down, I was completely confident. At the 15th, 16th minute, when we were like really losing the ball in the midfield a few times, Xhaka lost it a couple of times. Bellerin was trying on the right to try and pass it on, and he kept losing it. Pepe lost it a couple of times, and that time I was a little bit worried. But as soon as that water break happened and they came back and started to like figure it out, and David Luiz kept putting the ball in and giving them pressure, that's when I was like, okay, fine. He's figured a way out. Tactically, he's changed a couple of things. He's tweaked it around a little bit, and suddenly we were looking at a different team. And that's why I was like, okay, fine. We still got this. And when we scored the goal and the way we finished the half, I knew we were going to win. That's just the feeling that I had, and that's why I was confident going into the game. I was just a little bit nervous around the 15th minute, but then I kind of was confident that we would win the game. And then that beautiful sublime finish by Oba, like, I mean, I just hope that we do whatever it takes to keep him. I don't know what's going to happen with that, and that's something to talk about on a later date. But for right now, that just sublime finish, that turn, making Zuma look stupid, and then like just chipping it over the goalkeeper. What a beautiful finish!
Yeah, that was brilliant, and the composure he showed for that finish was next level.
Yep.
So you want to quickly do the player ratings? Are you good with that?
Yep.
I
Sounds
mean,
good.
I don't. This will be really easy for you, but let's try to make it. I mean, yeah, I'm not. Whatever you want. It's your opinion, your day. But let's go with Martinez first.
I'll try to be as fair as possible.
Let's go.
So I don't think he could have done anything with the goal, right? He had that one little bit of a horror moment where he came out of the thing, and he caught the ball inside the line and stuff like that. But that was something that wasn't needed. It wasn't like he was under pressure or anything. He didn't have to put himself through that. Luckily, it wasn't given. Although the absolute right decision is that it wasn't supposed to be given because he caught the ball inside the half, even though he was outside. So according to the rules, as long as he's catching the ball inside the line, he's okay, and that's exactly what happened. So according to the absolute rules, but that was like a kind of hard in the mouth kind of moment. So just for that, I'm going to shave off a point.
We're
So
talking about in the end, right?
towards the end when he caught the
Yeah,
ball
yeah.
outside the line, right?
Yeah,
That was
to be very honest, I saw that one shot. I didn't see any replay till now. For me, that was a clear outside the box. I only saw it live though. I only saw it. I didn't see the replay even after they showed it like 2 minutes later. I think I was doing something else, but I didn't see that, and I didn't go back and see it again. But I just saw it one shot, and I was so confident that that was outside the box.
And the moment it happened, even I thought that, right? The
Yeah.
moment it happened, even I thought that. But because of VAR, I don't think that would have been allowed. Even if the referee blew the whistle for it, it would have been overturned by VAR. And I really hope that he would have blown the whistle for it, because when it would have been turned by technology, all these Chelsea guys would have shut up, because now they're crying so much about it. Because
Yeah.
now they're filtering and they're photoshopping that place in, and these like literally completely out. That's not what exactly happened. The official one, and Amy Martin has also put in a photo on his social media account where he kind of showed that it was inside, and he asked
Yeah.
him to calm down.
Yeah.
So after the highlights and everything, after the replays and everything, it wasn't technically there. Having said that, he was under no real pressure to do that, and that was a silly move. Apart from that, he was pretty good all game.
Yeah.
He didn't have too many of saves to make, except I think that goal he couldn't have done much about, and then I think he had just one or two more saves in the beginning where he kind of mounted and scored shot one, which he kind of that's about it. So he was composed. He distributed decently. So I'm going to give him an 8, even though that one silly moment, I'm cutting that point out for that moment.
So
So
you're going with an 8.
and I'm good. It would have been 7.5 if it was any other game, but I'm giving a half a point extra because he won the cup.
Because yeah, okay, fair enough. Rob Holding.
Again, Rob Holding, pretty decent performance. He maybe got a little bit better in terms of closing down. I can't remember who it was, but
Pulisic, was it?
I don't think it was Pulisic in the first pass, right? Pulisic came on in the
Yeah, he came on. Yeah.
so I can't remember exactly who it was, but I'd give him a 7.5 for that performance. I'm being a little bit harsh on him, but I think a 7.5 to 8 is what I would give him.
7.5 to 8. So which one would you go with?
I'm gonna give him an 8 because it's it's so hard for me not to.
Yeah, I mean, I would have probably given him a 7, and just because I think that first goal he had something to do with that mistake. But
Okay, well,
yeah,
let's give him a 7.5. That's fine.
7.5. All right, okay, fine. And David Luiz, man, he's changed his game completely since that City debacle.
Here it is, and not only was he commanding defensively, he kept putting those balls in for Maitland-Niles and for Aubameyang that kept going, and that kept putting Chelsea's defense under pressure. And the fact that he commanded that defense pretty well after that little bit of a shaky start, he did a pretty decent job of commanding it. So I'm going to give him an 8.5. I can't forgive him for everything that he's done in Arsenal's shirt, but I think he came a very very close. I have heart for him. He's a good lad. I don't have anything against him
It's the
personally.
same with Chelsea. Like he won the league and everything, but there are mistakes there. Like he's not the greatest center back, so he will keep making mistakes. It's just like, I mean, it's more like tolerating those things, I guess.
And he's a big game player, and he showed it yesterday. He was commanding. He kept pushing the guys forward, and he kept and that kind of pressure that he put on Chelsea's defense. Every now and again, he kept throwing those long balls, and at least 5 or 6 times I remember off the top of my head. There might have been more, but that's for that I'm going to give him an extra half a point. So I'm going to give him an 8.5.
8.5 for Luis, and let's go to Tierney.
But again, man, solid performance. He's just such a revelation. Like I just like him so much. Like he's a proper no nonsense defender. He's good at attacking, going attacking wise. Also, he's good defensively. He's very very sound and just very good performance again yesterday. Nothing to say or nothing to like take away from that. So just an 8, just because I'm gonna cut off a point because we didn't get a clean sheet. So just an 8 for that.
Fair enough. Bellerin, I think he had an amazing game, like especially going forward. But yeah, your thoughts on Bellerin?
I think he had a very good game moving forward, attackingly, defensively. Again, there were a couple of issues. He kept getting beat 1 or 2 times, and that's just being harsh on him. I think overall he had a pretty good game, and I think the thing that I liked in this game and that I've been noticing a little bit more in the past 3 or 4 games is his partnership with Pepe. It's growing. It's not there yet. There's a lot that needs to be done, but I think it's growing, and they're both understanding each other a little bit better. And Pepe is helping out a little bit defensively, so that's going to make Bellerin look better and better. I think there was that disconnect initially when they started off, and that's what Bellerin was out of position a few times. With Pepe wasn't able to kind of do that, but I think that understanding is improving, and because of that, I think if that continues and there's no injury issues for both of them, I think that'll look like a very solid pairing. So I'll give him an 8 again. I think he did a good job attackingly. He was a threat moving forward. So for that also, I'll just give him an 8.
Okay, Maitland-Niles. I told you he should start.
Yeah, he is so
He
good.
did an amazing job on Mahrez, man. I think you were going with Saka, but
Yeah,
fair enough. Like he's also a great youngster, but like defensively, this guy and he has the pace as well. I think he played really well
and
both games.
that's the tactical genius of Arteta over there. I wanted to point out how when it was kind of they were just shifting between 4 and 5 at the back. As soon as he was kind of running forward and creating those chances forward, Bellerin was taking care of left and Tierney was taking care of the left back, and Bellerin wasn't running that much when he was running. So it was just the team performed so well. I can go on and on about this, but I think like Bellerin, attacking wise, he was very good, and defensively also very good. He had literally can't remember a time where he got beat or there was any kind of issues or anything. So just for that purpose, I'm going to give him an 8.5. I think he was very good yesterday.
8.5. Yeah, I think he was really impressive, and I was glad he started. I think he I always thought like after that semi-final performance, he deserved a chance in the final. Moving on, Danny Ceballos. I think this guy he had an amazing game. I think if it wasn't for those 2 goals, he would have been my man of the match. But yeah,
Yeah, I think again he's really looking good in the middle. I think he's grown into that position very well. When he started off for that position, he was a little bit lackluster. That could have also been because things we were trying a few things, and maybe he wasn't sure what he needs to do. But I think as soon as he's played those that in that role a little bit more, and once he's understood what is required off of him, he's starting to show really brightly over there, and that he's kind of made that position his own. And I still think that attacking wise, Arsenal do need another creative midfielder who can actually do what he does and just push in a little bit more. As someone like an Ozil, but there's issues with Ozil, so I'm not gonna like bring that up right now. But I think that if that's the one small missing piece I think in this Arsenal team is to have that creative midfielder who can do what Ceballos is doing a little bit better. And that being very harsh to him. I think he had a very good game, and he's really made that thing. And maybe he'll improve into that kind of position, and add that creativeness to his game as well, and that'll be great. Again, I was harsh to him. I don't want to take anything away from the performance of yesterday's game. I'm going to give him an 8.5. I think he was very good.
8.5, not 9.
I can give him a 9, man. Honestly, if you ask me, I'm going to give everyone a 10. They were so good. But I'm just trying to be fair.
All right, 8.5 for Ceballos. Going to Granit Xhaka.
What a story, that guy. In 1 year, from being like a complete outcast of the team, not even probably never going to make the team, to kind of come out there to really, after the first 15, 20 minutes, really kind of again boss that midfield, create those plays, and just literally that personality and that immense that impact that he had on the team in the middle over there, man. Again, very similar to Ceballos, he had a very good game. He created both the Kovacic's fouls where he got the cards was on Xhaka. So to like there have been issues with Xhaka in the past, but I think he's a different player under Arteta, and I think he was one of those guys that I've always been telling he needs to be coached very well. So when he gets coached well, he can really perform, and that you can see under Emery he wasn't being coached. He was being told what to do, which he was not understanding, and that was the issue. But like now with Arteta understanding and what he wants from the players, you see how much better the players are playing.
Yeah, and I heard as well, like even in City, Arteta played a big part, like in Sterling changing his game, and a couple of City players as well. I heard Arteta played a big part. So in terms of that, like he's really good at that. So I think that will benefit Arsenal in the long run.
Absolutely, and I'm going to give him an 8.5. Again, I'm giving half point less to all these people just because of those first 20 minutes, and that's a little bit harsh on this team. But
yeah, you don't have to be that harsh, man. I mean, I would have definitely given Ceballos a 9, but like with Xhaka, probably like for me 7.5, 8. But like I like 8.5 is fine. Like
yeah. I would probably give Ceballos a 9 too, but I think 8.5 is fine. That's fine. We'll move on.
All right, no worries. And Nicolas Pepe, I mean, there was some brilliance over there, like moments of brilliance. I still feel he needs to like contribute a bit more, but you can tell that he's a class player.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there is still improvement that I want to see from him, but from what I've seen, I'm very encouraged. So based off of that, I'm going to give him an 8. I think he had a very good game. If that goal wouldn't have been ruled out, I'd have given him a 9. but I just think that there's enough for me to be very, very happy and very encouraged in the coming years. That's what I just have to say about that. I think I'm going to be a class player.
Yeah. So
Mm.
eight for him. I think that if that goal went in, we could have given him an extra point. But yeah, I think it is fair. Lacazette, he didn't do much, but like that free kick, I think he missed and didn't really do much. But he was working really hard. Like didn't have clear cut chances, but he worked really hard.
I think that's what that's what it is with Lacazette, because of the amount of effort that he puts in. It creates those chances for Aubameyang and for Pepe and stuff like that,
Yeah.
because he holds the play very well and he creates the chances. He puts defenders towards him because he's that central attacker, right?
Yeah.
So he pulls people towards him. So for that reason, I'm going to give him an 8, because I think he kept continuously working hard and he put in a very, very good shift, and that's what I want from my attacker. That's exactly what I want. If he can't create those chances, he wants to create it for other people, because how Aubameyang and Pepe can make those runs and score those goals.
Yeah, like I didn't mean he didn't do much in terms of thing. I meant like in terms of like direct impact, but like that he was working pretty hard. I noticed that as well. But yeah, that concludes the player ratings. Moving.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Obama who? Obama what? Shout out to troops, man. It's stuck in my head, man. It's stuck in my head. This guy, bro. Like, you want me to rate him? Can I rate him?
You can rate him, but let me say something first, right? Whatever you rate him, I'm gonna give him 500 more than that.
I mean, if you want me to rate him, I was gonna give him like more than 10, but 10, man. I don't think you can argue with that. 2 goals.
I think what a
that finish was like
even the penalty. If you notice, it was even if Cerebello's what I can't remember the name, the goalkeeper's name.
Calavelos. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah.
Even if he would have moved the right way, because it was so much in the corner, he wouldn't have saved it. It was just a very, very well penalty.
And I didn't expect him to do that. I thought he was gonna smash it in, right? Like in that position, that's what the striker would normally do. But the composure he showed, it could have gone south and he could have missed it. But like it was his day. What can you say?
If I'm being very, very honest, I couldn't see it. I just had my volume on and I just wanted to see what the commentator would say before I saw it. But he just beautifully in the corner, just very, very well in the penalty. And of course that finish, man.
Yeah.
Fine.
When he actually had it initially, I'm like, why isn't he shooting, right? But then when he did that, I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I didn't expect that. Like, I'm like, oh, damn, he actually... Because I thought he took too much time. I thought he was going to miss it. Like, because he was waiting. And then suddenly he dinked it over the goalkeeper. That was just, like, next level.
Perfect. Almost it reminded me of the Thierry Henry of the old man. That kind of finish.
Yeah. And, that was amazing.
Definitely a 10. Definitely my man of the match. I have been harsh on my players a little bit, but I think that's fair. And it's just it's just trying to be fair, because I don't want like the people saying this.
I think you were like guarding your reputation a bit too much in this one. If this were United rating, everyone would be like 10. But fair enough, like respect for that. And I think last 2 ratings are Arteta.
Oh man, I'm gonna give him a 10. I cannot not give him a 10. It was just such a great performance.
And the fact that he was the first guy to get coronavirus, like in the league, like it shut down because of him, and then to come back and do this, like
absolutely, it's just incredible to come back from there, beat the likes of United, City, Chelsea, Liverpool in one of the best seasons that they've had this season, and like just to perform like that well under all these against all these teams that have performed well, especially City and Liverpool, and to kind of come in and in this first half season, he's already won a trophy. So that's like a lot of good things to come moving forward, hopefully. So very excited.
10 for Arteta and the referee.
I have to say it was a poor performance. I cannot say that. I mean, because
you should give him a 10 from your point of view.
Perspective, I'm giving him a 10. But from a fairness perspective, I think he was very, very poor. I think I'm gonna have to give him a 5.
Yeah, 2 points I want to make. Like, so that goalkeeping thing, I didn't know. You gave me more information on it. I just saw it once live. That's it. No replay, nothing. For me, that was a clear handball outside the box. But like you're saying, so I have to go check it out again. And the second thing, that was not a red card. There's no way that was a red card.
I agree.
Kovacic, that ruined the game. Like I'm just saying from a neutral point of view. Like to be honest, either team won. It doesn't make a difference for me. But like, just if you look at a neutral point of view, that was ridiculous refereeing. Like, you can't give that a red card, man.
I think so. I think so too. I think it wasn't a red card. I don't think so. I think even the first challenge. I mean, that's again. I think just being
the penalty. I'm not arguing with it. I think it's a penalty.
Yeah. So that was fine. It was a soft penalty. I've seen some
but
of
it's
those,
a penalty. Yeah,
but it was a penalty.
Yeah.
In the books, it was a penalty.
Yeah. We've got some softer ones this season. So I mean, this was a penalty, bro. This is a penalty. Yeah.
So, and I just said there were two challenges about on Xhaka for Kovacic, right? Even the first challenge that he made, he overplayed the ball.
Okay, that one, yeah.
And he slid in, but Xhaka made the most of it. And Xhaka does that pretty well. He makes the most of it. And so it could have possibly not been a yellow, not necessarily. I mean, it was, and I've seen those yellow given as well. But the second, it wasn't a yellow.
The second was clear cut. It wasn't. But yeah, so I think it was poor refereeing. And
a lot of these referees have to start figuring out how they can use VAR to their advantage versus like if they're on the fence with that one, they probably want to just not give that yellow and then have it checked with VAR. And if they want to overturn it, they can overturn kind of, those kind of, and they have to work on that and maybe eventually become better.
But I think like overall, anyway, Arsenal had the game. Like they were the better team. Maybe it was very close, but like they were the better team. But it's just that like it could have gone the other way. Then Arsenal fans would have been upset as well. It's just that the refereeing needs to improve in that sense.
I agree 100%. And I think this just based off of the fact that it was a poor performance by the referee, I'd give him a 5 just because it's not fair otherwise.
I give him a 2, man, for that. But yeah, okay, 5 is fair enough. I think we'll go with a 5. And just to conclude, I think we got all the player ratings. Just to conclude, so I wanted to ask you this: Arsenal have won FA Cups recently. Like they're a cup team. Like they haven't done so well in the Champions League, in the Europa League, in the Premier League, but they have even though you guys are probably at the lowest point from as a fan for you. Like you haven't seen this kind of point before, but they're still winning like a FA Cup. But how much of this is like hope and at the same time like a false kind of thing? Like are you going to get really excited, or is like how do you look at it from this point of view? Because I really wanted to know, because like you won the cup and everything, but I've seen them win the cup like even under Wenger, like when they were at a low. So like, you know what I mean? So like what do you think?
So since it's good that we've taken some time to do this podcast, because if you would have asked me this like when as soon as the game finished, I would have had a completely different answer. But I've found some time to collect my thoughts. I'm still buzzing. I'm not saying that I'm not. I found some time to collect my thoughts, and I think that we are in the right direction. But I don't think we can let this victory kind of blind our future in terms of where everything's good and hunky-dory. It's not.
But that's the problem. Do you think that now that they won the FA Cup, the owners the fans will be a bit quiet, they won't be making too much noise in terms of transfer this, transfer that, but don't you think like if they don't go and buy players, they don't get the right people in the market, don't you think it could come and haunt you next season? Like I understand Arteta's he's taking it into the right direction, but even him as a manager, what will he do if he doesn't get the players he needs?
Absolutely. I think that's what I'm saying. You just can't be blindsided to the fact that there are some deep-rooted issues in this team. There's no doubt about it. Arteta has done a massive job with what he has. Just imagine what he can do with what he gets, what he wants, right? He's just been given this team. He hasn't had one transfer window. He hasn't done anything. Okay, maybe he had a little bit part in the Jan transfer window, but we didn't get anyone over there, right? The only thing that it is that, okay, yes, we got Cedric Soares, we got like a couple of players, but it wasn't like his transfer. Give him 2 good transfers, right? With what he has, he's done so much. He can do so much better if he gets what he wants.
But will he get that backing? Because I've seen in the past that managers, especially like Wenger, and I don't know about like if Wenger asked or not, but like Wenger, Emery and stuff, they didn't get that backing. You know what I mean? Will he get that backing? That's because this will be a kind of pacifier. This kind of trophy win will be. If they lost this, they would have gone crazy. Like in the summer, there'll be a lot of pressure from fans and everything. But will the owners take this and give him that backing? Do you think is that possible, or do you think you never know?
I really hope that they do. Honestly, I just from the past that how they've been as owners, they haven't been the most forthcoming owners. There are some people who are in every game. I hardly ever see Stan Kroenke in a game. So It's just that it's so hard to it's like a very difficult question to
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah. No, no, I understand. I just wanted to see the perspective because, like, for example, if Obama Yang leaves, I think that's a big fail already, right?
I,
Because if you look at it, not just what he's done for Arsenal, like, I mean, we've seen Van Persie to have an amazing season, he's gone to United. So, like, I understand that. But Obama Yang is now at a certain age where, like, not all clubs will be looking at him because of his age, right? Like, he's a world-class striker, no doubt, and everything. But if you look at it long term, and because of the coronavirus situation, they probably won't have enough money to spend on him. And with that age, people might not, like, go for him. So I think, but if he's let go from Arsenal in this summer thing, I think that's a huge fail. It's a very negative step for
yeah,
the club.
I was just gonna say, I was saying the fact that we have a couple of things that we have to really sort out. One is the fact that we have to sort out Oba's deal. I think in the next 3 or 4 days, some kind of decision on that has to be made. Either way, right? If we can't keep him, it's a very bad decision to make. But we need to know. We need to know in advance because we have to start preparing for the next season. It's not too far away. It's in a month. It's in a month's time, right?
Yeah,
I think they said
quick
that in the
turnover.
first week
Yeah,
of September.
September 12th. Yeah.
Yeah, so exactly. So it has to happen really quickly. I cannot have them dilly-dallying it until the last day of the transfer market, and then, like, just be in a situation where everything is like we don't know what's gonna happen. So I want a decision on that to happen as soon as possible. Hopefully in our favor, but if
Yeah.
not, I just want to know in advance. I don't want to waste my time
Yeah.
thinking, okay, what's gonna happen. And I have a feeling that he's gonna stay. And that's my perspective. I don't know if it's gonna happen for sure, but I have a feeling he might stay. One and two. Ceballos. You have to figure out what's going to happen with him as well, right? He was on a loan. The loan's over now. Is he going back? Are they extending the loan? What's happening? These are two important players in the past, in the recent past for us, right? Aubameyang has been immense. Ceballos has really grown into that position. Are you going to give him? Has he done enough for you to continue to do that? So you want to figure out these two, and then what else? Like, he want whatever players that he wants. What is the plan behind it? Like,
Yeah.
I think that Arteta is being vocal about it. He's coming out in press conference and he's saying that, okay, we are a little bit behind the other big clubs. I just need to see what's up, and I like that about him. He's out there and he's telling that. So so hopefully the board is taking that into consideration, and they're going to hopefully back him. And I
Yeah.
think if they back him, man, I'm telling you, we're going to be as good as Liverpool, if not better.
Oh yeah, big statement there. I mean, right now he's looked impressive, but yeah, the thing with me, I never know with Arsenal, so I don't really want to make any predictions. It could be that, it could be no top four. I don't know what will happen. But yeah, I think in another episode I'll ask you about, like, which transfers you would like to see. But just if you just had this squad, like with this squad, like what would your prediction be for the league next season? Just with this squad.
Oh, you know, not even a single edition?
Yeah, because, like, I mean, we'll go into that because right now we don't know what's gonna happen. But, like, with this squad, with Aubameyang staying and Ceballos staying,
Yeah.
like, if it were to be, like, it's not gonna happen like that. I'm just saying. With Arteta at the wheel.
I think we'll make fourth.
Fourth, okay, with this team. So with transfers that you're seeing close to a challenge, not a challenge, but close to a challenge.
So I think I'm being a little bit honestly. I think we'll be
challenging top four. Challenging top four. Let's put it like that.
We would challenge top four, and I
yeah,
think
let's put it like that.
And if we can get a certain players that I have in my mind that we're being linked to, I think we'll make top four.
Top
and
four.
I know there's this one ex-Liverpool player that I'm very, very excited to see.
Go on. Who is he?
Philippe Coutinho.
Good. Yeah, I mean, that would be crazy, man. But
you can get that attacking threat in that team, man. Oh wow.
Yeah, that would be crazy. But yeah.
And maybe this is probably a controversial statement, and maybe things get settled between Arteta and Ozil comes back in and he puts in that performance. I still think Ozil can be the answer to that creative issues.
I think it's done, man. I don't think it's going to fix.
That's what everyone's saying, and I've been a fan of Ozil for a long time now. So it's just I agree. What if I don't see him ever again in an Arsenal shirt, I wouldn't be surprised. But I just feel like maybe he thinks that, okay, you know what? There's something special that's happening in this team. Let me forget my issues, everything. Let me go back and see what's up.
Yeah.
Maybe it works out. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. And do you think, I mean, I forgot to ask you this. I really wanted to ask you this during the other question. Europa League now, like, it's confirmed, right, for Arsenal because they won the FA Cup. Is that a blessing in disguise or not? Like, or is it like something like, would you, like, I understand you have the trophy, which makes everything beautiful, but that Europa League, for me, like, I've seen like Chelsea, I've seen like Leicester as well win the league when they don't have any Europe to look at. So do you think that's more of a, like, Europa is kind of a disadvantage for Arsenal?
I mentioned this in previous podcast as well. I think in terms of the revenue, I think that's a great
Yeah,
deal. And one and two, because it's Europa, we won't be playing very strong teams.
yeah,
So it's a nice chance to get our youngsters going through competitive games. And if we lose that in the early stages, it doesn't matter. Although if we're struggling for top four, I think that's a very very good way to also get into the Champions League.
yeah,
So I
definitely.
think it helps in those two ways. Play your youngsters till the end, and if you're getting close to the qualifiers and like maybe the semifinals, finals, or even the quarterfinals for that matter, you maybe use some of the bigger players. And if at by the time we'll know how the league is going, and if we're probably in the top side of things, and where top four looks a little bit easier, whatever, it's gonna be hard, right? It's gonna be, but then I think it's a good way, at least in the starting, to play the youngsters. And if top four is becoming challenging, use that as a stepping stone to Champions League for next season.
Yeah, I
I think
think
it's
that.
not a very bad thing, also, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think to end the podcast, Arteta or Lampard, who had the better season?
Arteta, 100%.
Yeah, no Champions League, no problem, huh? Trophy all the way.
In half season,
Yeah. I mean, it's not like a proper question. It's just for
yeah.
kicks. I just wanted to see what you're gonna say. And to finally end it off, Arsenal's player of the season.
That's so hard.
So easy, man. I know what you're thinking about.
And of course, Aubameyang. There's no real
Yeah,
question.
done.
I
Move
have I
on.
have to give a special mention to both my goalkeepers.
Yeah,
They've
I
been
mean,
immense throughout the season for us. Leno,
Martinez especially like surprised me.
Leno, he had a great season, especially when things were not looking good. He made those 3-0 games look. It could have been 6-0, 7-0 if not
Yeah.
for him. And he was really good. And then when Emmy came on, wow, man, that guy, he was crying after the final whistle yesterday. It was so nice to see how much it meant to him, and for him to have that kind of performance over the past few games. And it was just like one off. It was just a one off. So like everyone is seeing the kind of performance that he's had. So I think we have Arsenal has the best number one and number two goalkeeper wise. I think
Goalkeeper.
all of the other teams have very good one goalkeeper, but the second one they're kind of struggling with. I think Arsenal have the best number one, number two. So my special mention to them, apart from of course Aubameyang, is probably the guy who gets the trophy in
Yeah.
terms of the best player. But I
Yeah.
think a special mention to these two.
Yeah, perfect. And I think that's pretty much sums it up. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll be doing some more episodes after, but it was a great season. A
Yep,
good way to cap it off for Arsenal. And if there's anything else you'd like to add, go ahead. Otherwise, I will see you soon.
yep. Just looking forward to next season, man. Can't wait.
I can't wait, man. It was a great season. Thank you so much for coming on, and I'll see you soon. Take care.